You're first.
I'm first. This will be interesting.
Hey, Sonny, come on over.
I'll split it with you.
There's 5 big words in it.
Oh, show me up. Just a cat. He's already.
All right, we're all here. All right, good morning. Thank you all so much for being with us this morning, and a special thank you to the mayor and the entire city for hosting us today. Today is an important day. We're celebrating our continued success of one of our signature programs, our Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness program. And this is a program where the state and municipalities partner to build resiliency, to address climate change, but really to get together and think about the future of your community, what you want to see, your strengths and weaknesses, and how to really build upon those strengths and improve any vulnerabilities that a community has. Since the passing of Executive Order 569, Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito have taken a real leadership role on climate change, both from a mitigation perspective, addressing climate change through greenhouse gas reductions, but also building resiliency to the impacts of climate change that we're already seeing, from a very hot and wet summer we've had to historic droughts over the past 4 or 5 years, to record snowfalls. We continue to see climate change's impacts all across our communities here in the Commonwealth, and our MVP program continues to grow. It started in 2017 as a $500,000 a year program, and thanks to the governor, his leadership, the lieutenant governor, to the legislature for their partnership, and to cities and towns all across our fair Commonwealth for participating. This program has grown significantly to now include 93% of our cities and towns all across the state. And you'll hear a lot more about that partnership today, about the project that's going on right here in Easthampton, and a number of other projects in this area. So with that, I will pass it to a true champion of this program and our climate resiliency efforts across the state, Governor Baker.
So first of all, it's nice to see so many people, many of whom are smiling. Let me just say that when the Lieutenant Governor and I constructed this Municipal Vulnerability Planning Program, I think it was the first of its kind in the country, and we needed to find somebody who would be willing to champion this program, recognizing and understanding that as former local officials, both the Lieutenant Governor and I weren't interested in ordering anybody to do something on this. We wanted folks to come prepared to put their shoulder to the wheel and to partner with us on this program. And the first overseer and champion of this program was, in fact, the current Secretary of Environmental Affairs, Katie Theorides. And the best part about her work on this program was she made it something that everybody wanted to be part of, and that's why we have 93% of the communities in Massachusetts that are currently participating in it. And it is in many ways one of the best opportunities we have to recognize and understand that there's work to be done right now to deal with the issues we already face with regard to climate change. And it's certainly our hope that going forward we'll be doing a lot more work in this space as we continue to mitigate as well as provide resiliency opportunities for folks across the Commonwealth. And it's terrific to be here with the mayor and the representative and the senator in Easthampton to talk about the critical time we all face, especially here in the Pioneer Valley and across the Commonwealth on this issue. I think many of us, as we head out of the summer and into the fall, are reflecting on what a difficult and challenging summer this was all over the place, especially with respect to weather. This summer we experienced 4 significant heat waves, more than 25 days over 90 degrees, 2 tropical storms, a record amount of precipitation in the month of July, and a significant flooding across the state, and especially here in Western Mass. And obviously, our thoughts go out to the people of Louisiana as they emerge from the devastation left behind by Hurricane Ida, literally on the 16th anniversary exactly of Hurricane Katrina. And I know a lot of folks in Louisiana, and spent a lot of time texting with them over the course of the past few days. And while there has been a significant amount of resiliency work done in and around New Orleans, which probably prevented some really horrific things from occurring there, it's pretty obvious to them, and as I would hope to many of the rest of us, that this issue is a now issue. It's not a tomorrow or the day after issue, and that we need to continue to invest aggressively in both our mitigation strategies and in our resiliency efforts as well. That's why we made this program such a significant priority for us, and it's why we're here today to be able to announce that Easthampton, along with 82 other communities, are being awarded a total of $21 million through our MVP program to plan for and implement climate change resiliency projects this year. Thank you. This number reflects a doubling of the MVP program budget in fiscal year 22, and we're honored to be able to assist cities and towns as they pursue urgent work that's necessary to address the impacts of climate change. Including this year's funding, the program has now invested over $65 million in communities across the Commonwealth on their resiliency efforts. We're also proud to welcome 16 new communities to the MVP program this year, which brings, as Secretary Theoretti said, the total number of participating communities to 93% of those in the Commonwealth. I would like a list at some point of the 7% that aren't, so that you and I can maybe call them up and have a conversation with them about why they aren't in. But 93% is a pretty good place to be on a program that started several years ago where nobody really knew if it was going to make it or not. We're here today in Easthampton, in particular, because the city's been awarded a $2 million grant for its Cherry Street project. Kudos to the mayor. The project includes restoring the stream bank and stabilizing the Cherry Street outfall, reconstructing the Cherry Street roadway, and restoring the eroded slope and adjacent stream within the Brookyard Brook Conservation Area. The project will build resiliency to increase precipitation by infiltrating stormwater in addition to tree cover for shade. It will also build new sidewalks for better walkability, safety, and enhanced connectivity to open spaces and resources in this environmental justice community. It will both make the city more resilient to increased precipitation due to climate change and also increase safety and accessibility to resources. I think, as everybody knows, Easthampton's undergoing a significant economic development and redevelopment strategy, and the city recognizes the need for sound, future-focused solutions to guide developments in ways that consider future climate conditions, ongoing maintenance needs, and environmental justice populations. This project exemplifies these goals, and it's the first implementation project for the city's new green infrastructure plan that was developed using the MVP program and the money that came with it last year. Nice work, Mayor.
Thank you.
The pilot project will likely spark similar nature-based resiliency projects throughout not only the community but the region, and it demonstrates the need for increased funding for climate resiliency projects across the Commonwealth, as it went from a good idea in the last MVP funding round to a shovel-ready construction project in this one. And led by the mayor and the city and supported by the Commonwealth with technical assistance and funding, this project will implement the community vision for a roadway on Cherry Street, which is just a few streets over from here. It's a great example, along with many others, of the critical infrastructure that's no longer able to adequately serve communities and handle large amounts of precipitation and the other impacts that we're seeing as a result of climate change. Impacts that I think we all know will only become more severe in the years to come. And for communities like this one, it does not get more urgent than this project. And there are many, many more like it across the Commonwealth that could increase the resilience of our state and deliver significant benefits across the Commonwealth to our communities. But they obviously need state assistance, and they need investment, and they need it now. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the partnership we've had with the legislature on so many items, including the legislators who are here today, and especially on the programs like this MVP program, which the legislature stepped up and helped fund when it really was just a new idea and something that hadn't been tried anywhere before. But there is much work to do here, and I think, as many people know, we filed legislation back in May that would have put about $2.9 billion, that's billion with a B, in federal resources to work through our ARPA program to fund immediate needs and opportunities across the 365 communities, 351 communities here in the Commonwealth. Oops, that would have made the 93 thing a little more complicated, yeah. As part of that funding, we proposed about $1 billion for critical infrastructure initiatives to deal with environmental challenges across the Commonwealth, including $300 million to invest specifically in climate-resilient infrastructure. And the MVP projects that we're supporting today through this program are exactly the kind of projects that we believe we need to do far more with across Massachusetts, and we need to do it now. There's a tremendous amount of interest and a lot of proven success associated already with this MVP program, and our municipal partners throughout the Commonwealth have demonstrated that this is a program that works and that we should do much more of it as we go forward. There's a lot of work left to do here. We do have an opportunity to do some transformational work based on the federal resources that are available, and we hope and anticipate that our colleagues in the legislature will see this as the big opportunity that we do and put a ton of resources to work from one end of Massachusetts to the other on it as we go forward. And with that, I again want to congratulate Easthampton and all of the other award winners today. I especially want to say to all the municipal folks who are here how much we appreciate your partnerships, not just on this, but on so many other issues as well. And we look forward to continuing to work with all of you going forward. And with that, I will turn it over to Lieutenant Governor.
But we'll just have a few more speakers and then we can chat with you. There's lots of people here to help, okay? Okay. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. We are so happy to be here in Easthampton. It's a beautiful day. You have a beautiful community. And I just want to say at the outset, thank you, each and every one of you. I know we have municipal leaders here. We have neighbors. We have students that are soon to be in school, if not already. It's a day to sort of appreciate where we're at. It took a ton of hard work and sacrifice and commitment on behalf of everyone, and we're very proud of the people of our Commonwealth and what they've been able to do to get through these tough times over the past year and a half dealing with the pandemic. So today's a great day, and it's a great day to acknowledge that, but I also want to say a huge thank you to your mayor, to our friend, Mayor LaChapelle, for her leadership for this community, as well as for helping our administration, particularly me and Secretary Keneally, who led the reopening of our economy effort last spring. We tapped Mayor LaChapelle to join our small advisory group because of her leadership, her ability to make decisions, and her really having her ear to the ground and knowing what the needs of the small businesses and smaller communities here in Western Mass and across our state needed. I just want to say thank you, Mayor LaChapelle, for all that you've done. While managing through a pandemic, she has not lost sight on a lot of the other things that are important to this community, and I just want to take a moment to highlight that as well. I see Jeff Bagg here, your planner. He's been hard at work making sure that the economic development, the housing development, the redevelopment, and the reimagining of your community was not sidetracked because of the pandemic. Just before coming here, I had the chance to get back to One Ferry. I should be very proud of what's happening in that mill space. Many of you have driven by those old mills for years, and to now see them occupied by tenants and soon to be more residences, both home ownership and rental, is really a great accomplishment to all of you. We were happy to put in a $3.5 million MassWorks grant to see the reconstruction of Ferry Street and the sidewalks and biking trails and all of those amenities that come with it. This is your project. This was your vision. But it's one thing to have a plan, it's another thing to make it happen. So I really want to give you and the mayor's leadership team a lot of credit for seeing that through. We clearly want to see more of that happen. We need more housing opportunities that people can afford and access here in our Commonwealth. And you are definitely taking advantage of all the programs at the state level to see more of that happen. We'd love to put more of those ARPA dollars to work. The legislators are thinking about how to work through the $5.4 billion that the federal government has shared with our state. We put out a $1 billion plan to see more housing, including $300 million for home ownership, which clearly I'm sure the mayor and her team would love to see be dedicated to communities like this, along with your local ARPA dollars, to see more good things happen, put more people into housing, more opportunities to see your vision come true here in Easthampton. So a lot of good things happening. Thank you, Senator Vallis, and thank you, Rep. Carey, for your hard work and your partnership. This is a great program. What I love about this program is the governor said it's voluntary, because we're, as former local officials, we don't like to tell communities what to do. We want to partner with you and team up with you and help you see your vision come true. The fact that 93% or 328 of our communities have voluntarily participated or are participating in the Municipal Vulnerability Program speaks volumes. It speaks volumes because the program was actually born out of a lot of conversations that the governor and I had with local officials. While we love our Commonwealth, we have an old state in terms of infrastructure. Dams, culverts, the pipes underground, they're old. And for us to think that municipalities, especially smaller communities, could foot the bill to replace that infrastructure is not real. And that's why a program like this, dedicating state dollars, working in concert with municipal officials, can see some of this infrastructure updated and improved so that it can be built out in a resilient fashion, but also address the resiliency that's needed to the changes in our climate that are impacting our community. So home run, the program works. 93% is an A-. We're going to get to an A+ because we're going to get all of the communities to participate. But we clearly have a lot of demand and need, and we have some dollars, but we need more dollars. If we could put some of the special ARPA dollars, the federal dollars, to work with some of your dollars, we could see more of these kinds of projects done throughout the Commonwealth. The other part is, there's two parts to this program. One is planning. So basically doing an assessment of your community and what your vulnerabilities are and mapping out what your opportunities are. And then the next is the action. That's where you take the dollars, like the $2 million that Easthampton is getting, and taking what you mapped out on paper and making it real. So the action part of this is what we're really acknowledging today. It's just terrific. Congratulations on your project. It's unique, that's right. It's a unique need that Easthampton has, but it also is an opportunity for other communities to kind of share the best practices, like what's happening over there in Easthampton might work someplace else in our Commonwealth. So there's a sharing of ideas about how to build out resilient infrastructure. Not too far down the road, Springfield is receiving a $2 million grant for Forestry Operations Center, $750,000 to a dam removal project in Bridgewater, and $600,000 grant to energy resilience in Chelsea City Hall. So you got urban, you've got Eastern Mass, you've got Western Mass, all benefiting from this program. There's something for everyone. And I believe we got 16 new communities involved in the award program today. So congratulations. There's also other things that we're doing. Secretary has really taken this to heart. The State Hazard and Mitigation Plan, there's a whole interagency program called Resilient Mass Action, where we do a lot more planning and sharing of our resources. There's also a great program around sharing these best practices, as I talked about, and a statewide climate impact assessment that's really identifying the top risks and opportunities and trying to meet these needs over a short period of time. Not letting them go on until it becomes a big problem, but trying to be as proactive as possible to getting some of this infrastructure rebuilt in a resilient fashion. Doubling our capital dollars for this program, that's great. As I said, and the governor has emphasized, if we could put more of the federal dollars to work here, we can get to this, the action part of this program more quickly. So we look forward to working with our colleagues in the legislature, and we certainly look forward to continuing our work with our municipal friends and partners all across the landscape of our Commonwealth. There might be some of you that are going to take a walk down that path soon. I understand that it's pretty spectacular. I was looking at Lower Middle Pond this morning, and there's some really great opportunities there too. I understand that there was a footbridge that once was active across that pond. Would love to see some of those things redeveloped and become part of your story going forward. So keep up your great work. I wish the students of this community a great school year, and thank you all very, very much for your hard work over the course of this past year and a half, and looking forward to many good things to come. Congratulations to Easthampton and the other recipients today. It's my great pleasure to now introduce your mayor, Mayor Nicole LaChapelle.
Welcome, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and Secretary to Easthampton. You are no strangers to our city, and we welcome you back today. It's also great to see Senator Vilas, Representative Carey, and our city councilors. President Peg Conniff is here. Councilor, actually, this is your district, Tom Peake. Lindsay Rothschild is here. Omar Gomez is here. And hopefully I didn't forget any city councilors, because we have a meeting tomorrow. There. Easthampton seeks innovative interventions to address rapid changes in our global ecosystem. We look no further than Haiti and New Orleans as urgent proof of climate crises. What seemed like the occasional wet spring or warm winter is becoming a new unpredictable normal. Climate change is all too real, giving to a crisis threatening all of our planet. In Easthampton, our aging sewer system, much of which is over 100 years old, is quickly declining from usage way beyond its design. Our MVP Action Grant proposal was bold, fixing the old and preserving the future. The proposal outlined a new project with forward-thinking maintenance lasting for years. Our DPW and Planning Department, led by Staff Engineer Diane Rossini. Where's Diane? I know she's here. About 2 years ago, Diane had a conversation with me in my office, and the question was, do you know what environmental justice is and what we can do from an engineering and public works? And Diane has educated us all over the last 2 years, and here we are today. Thank you, Diane. We submitted a rebuilding of a drainage outfall on a failing slope, deteriorating with intense rainfall. Green infrastructure manages the additional flows and volume upspring of the outfall in this neighborhood. This upstream green infrastructure is beautiful, slowing and filtering rainwater before flowing into Brickyard Brook in the Brickyard Brook Conservation Area. Inspired by our MVP public planning process that cannot be underestimated in the MVP program, we got a clear idea of what the residents were looking at across the city, but what in particular this neighborhood needed to thrive and be protected against future climate change. As a result of that training, the team built in resident training and guides to actually maintain the green infrastructure in front of their homes. This neighborhood is the most critical area listed in the Integrated Water Resource Plan and builds off of our MVP-funded Green Infrastructure Master Plan. Creating a working model for future stormwater projects using green infrastructure. Interventions included vegetated state and bioretention swales to supplement and in some cases replace existing gray infrastructure like pipes, manholes, and man-made head walls. This project also lowers maintenance costs. The featured green practices show successful implementation in a more urban area with a smaller footprint. Easthampton has a strong, proud history of stacking state grants to maximize public dollars to the highest and best public use. Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito have been key strategic partners in putting Easthampton in the place it is today, on the cutting edge of environmental technology to save and protect neighborhoods, to boost our economic development that is based in a very smart growth, hyper-local, as well as future projects that we hope to stack our local ARPA dollars with state ARPA dollars. You see, Easthampton only has a few regions of where a community block development grant can be used for infrastructure, and this is one of them. We are mobilizing to submit a community block grant to marry two public funding sources to upgrade water and sewer in this area simultaneous, as it's more cost effective. And we can resolve underground infrastructure issues and finish the project using innovative green infrastructure to sustain this neighborhood and conservation in the future. I was counting on working with the state with the ARPA money to build upon both the Community Block Development Grant, MVP grant, as well as Community Comprehensive dollars. And I would hope my representatives in the legislature can see their way to putting that money back on the table. When I was asked in a conference call of what needs we had, it was very easy. I said, I have 5 feasibility studies and 1 report from UMass Donahue Institute that City Councilor Peak, and it's very clear what we need. We need housing. It needs to be affordable. We need to replace that infrastructure. We need to make sure that our small and hyper-local businesses are supported. That's how Easthampton thrives. And I look forward to seeing that money back on the table so we in Easthampton can build upon it. Again, thank you, Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, and Secretary Theoharides. Okay, it's okay. I actually mispronounce our great health director's last name every single time. She and I are working on it. For investing in Easthampton's commitment to increase energy and environmental resilience. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the governor, the lieutenant governor, the secretary, all of our department heads. I would like to recognize Dale from Mashpee, and I think I saw some, who also received an MVP grant. You get the award for driving the longest, and it's very nice. I see someone else. There we go. There's Mashpee. Mashpee's in the house. Thanks for coming to Easthampton. I'll be in Mashpee soon. Take care.
Well, thank you. This work takes so many great partnerships with local leaders and certainly with the members of our legislative delegation across the state and those who are here today. So I'd like to introduce Senator John Vallis, who is a great representative for all of these Western Mass communities. And we just discovered we're from rival sports towns, at least, and similar times of going there out here in Western Mass. So, Senator.
Mr. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor, Representative, and Madam Secretary. You know, this is actually really, really cool for any number of reasons, but one of them being, I can't tell you, I don't think I have ever been introduced by, yes, similar time periods, rivals in schools, but I don't think I've ever been introduced by a fellow Greek. So, and as you know, part of us being Greek is our last names get messed up a lot. So, folks, what an honor to be here. Just a truly great collaboration between the state, the local government, so many people. I'm not going to go on and on because everybody prior to me has spoken so eloquently. I guess what I would say is this: as I was getting ready to come over here today, watching the news, you see about a hurricane, you see about Afghanistan, you see all these bad things going on in the world today. And then there is just kernel of optimism coming over here today, because this is what it looks like right here. You are looking at your government working for you. This is what it's all about, these types of events, and this is something that we can all get behind and we can all celebrate. I also would be remiss when I was up here if I didn't say a special thank you to the Lieutenant Governor as well as the Governor. You know, for the past, since March of 2020, we have all sat back watching TV and seeing these two in particular giving remarks, giving speeches, giving comfort to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as we navigate this COVID-19 thing. So thank you. And I also just got a text message when I was up here. Yeah, I think that deserves a round of applause. Absolutely. Good one, yes. And I just got a text message from another mayor in my district who's not on this list, so part of that 7%, if you will. And they said, you tell the administration we will be on that list. And they also said one thing, and I'll end with this. Thank them for all of the times that they spend out here in Western Massachusetts. Something we hear a lot. Those of us in the legislature that represent this part of the state, we kind of had this view of the world, if you will, view of the Commonwealth, where we think that Western Massachusetts is left out of everything. And in many respects, we are on a lot of things. But I stand here before you today to say that the folks behind me are an ally of Western Massachusetts, and they are always here. So much sometimes I say to myself often, they're not coming again, are they? Sorry, Mr. Governor. So it's again, concluding with really, really great to be here, really cool to be here. Mayor, you continue to get these grants over and over again. At some point in time, you need to start a workshop for grant writing. So congratulations, and just...
I have a great team,
Yeah,
an amazing team.
And all of my partners in government at the local level, the mayor recognized them. I see many of the councilors, I see police, I see fire, the state troopers here with you, everybody. Just, it's a team effort, and this is a great team showing, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. And another great representative for your communities, Representative Carey, has been such a tremendous partner on all things climate resiliency, a lot of our great parks programs and land conservation programs, and we were most recently together for a culvert celebration over at the Mass Audubon site here in Easthampton. So always a great opportunity when I'm with a representative. We're usually doing something that involves giving out money to communities around some of these priorities. So here's your representative. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dan Carey, State Representative for the 2nd Hampshire District, which includes Easthampton. I'm in my 2nd term, but I'm finally got used to the ride to the State House. But being an Easthampton resident, I much prefer today's commute. I think we should have more meetings out here. This is a very exciting day, and it's great to be here, not just because it's the first day all summer that's not torrentially raining and not over 100 degrees. We can enjoy being together out here, but because of this grant, and for all the reasons you've already heard, I'm not going to repeat them all. You know, as a former Easthampton City Councilor, it was always exciting when we would get one of these, and I know how important it is for the budget and for the city and for all 93 communities that are being awarded grants today. This project is especially important because we know what a big problem climate change is, and we need big picture responses. We need to act big, but we also need to act small. And this is a way we can fight climate change on the local level right here in the neighborhood. So it's a wonderful thing. I want to thank the Governor and Lieutenant Governor for coming out. I shared with them earlier that I have very fond memories of being a young boy and meeting Governor Salucci here in Easthampton. And it was a long time ago now, but I'll never forget it. So I'm glad there's some young folks here, and I hope you get a chance to say hello to the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor this morning. It's a very exciting day for Easthampton. And I know next time I have an event, I'm going to have it on East Green Street, and there'll be a big crowd. But really, I want to thank you all for being here. Congratulations to Easthampton and to all the communities receiving grants today. Thank you.
All right, before we close, I would just like to again thank all of the MVP communities who are here, the regional planning agencies who are here, our MVP team working for the state who travels to every corner of the Commonwealth helping to get this program out the door, and our vendors who have been certified as MVP providers. We have, I think, over 500 certified vendors now who help participate in this program and are a key element of this. So thank you all. I'm going to turn it over to the governor for any questions.
So does the media have any questions? Yeah.
About the Springfield courthouse, the environmental issue, they've had this amount of college involved. The courthouse is now shut down. A lot of people don't want to go to work.
So we've had many conversations with the trial court about this and have basically said that we are available at their disposal for whatever point or purpose they believe we can help them deal with the issues that are there. It's pretty clear the building has issues. And as I said, we'll do whatever we can to help the trial court with this property.
Would it be time for you to go beyond the trial court and take it upon yourself?
So the trial court has made very clear to me on numerous occasions that they are an independent and separate branch of government, okay?
It's a business.
And I could go on all day with respect to the circumstances and situations in which that point has been made to me.
Are you going to fix family court corruption?
As I said, we are perfectly willing to work with the trial court on whatever the trial court believes we can do to assist them with the issues they have with that building. But at the end of the day, that building belongs to them, not to us.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask about the Board of Early Education and Care.
Yep.
And their proposal to try to have a mask mandate indoors for staff and children 5 and older at all EC licensed care sites. I know that's going to be happening today. What's your take on that?
Well, that was based on conversations that they had with their provider community and with some of the folks in the public health world. And I think in some ways the youngest kids at this point in time aren't able to get vaccinated. We fully expect that at some point this fall, the rules with respect to that will change, and we'll work really hard at that point in time to help those that want to get vaccinated. But I think they're viewing that at this point in time as an appropriate measure as, you know, school starts and as people start incorporating more of those early ed programs into their daily lives. And I think it makes sense. Yeah.
Governor, just had a question about the Soldiers Home. Given the Boston Globe's spotlight reporting, which put some serious questions about the Trolls Team report and some of the omissions that were put in that seem to protect both you and members of your administration, what are your thoughts about people from Western Massachusetts who may have read the Globe's reporting and put blame for what happened to Soldiers Home?
Well, we've always said that, you know, what happens on our watch is ours. And when we learned about the size and scale of what was going on there in March, the next day we had an interim executive director from Western Mass, Val Liptak, and a host of National Guard officers and staff on site to basically take control of the place and to move aggressively to solve many of the issues and the problems that people had there. I also reached out to 100 people who were family members of folks who, personally, who lost someone, whether it was to COVID or something else, and ended up having conversations over the phone with about 80 people. Now remember, this was right at the heart of the beginning of the pandemic, so it wasn't like you could gather folks for a public meeting, but I felt obligated to do something as the governor of the Commonwealth to reach out to these people personally, and some of them I had 5 or 10 minute conversations with, some of them I talked to for over an hour. And those conversations, I think for me and for them, were a really helpful and sort of shared opportunity for us to talk about the tragedy and the loss that they had suffered as a result of the COVID virus. And I'm pleased to say that since that time, the work that was done, both at that Soldiers Home and at the one in Chelsea, have had a hugely positive impact on the safety and the health of the residents and the staff who are there.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, folks, thanks very much for coming out.